Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of the Rush Hour podcast. We have new documents to get into, new receipts in the Justin Baldoni versus Blake Lively case, and let's dive right into it. Why wait? So we've got a 31-page court document here that was filed, and as you guys know, when new information comes out, we share it. Plaintiff Blake Lively versus Wayfair, and then we have Jennifer Abel versus Jonesworks, and then we have Wayfair Studios against Blake Lively, and so on and so on and so on. I mean, the amount of paper being printed from this court case is unbearable. So Jennifer Abel worked at Jonesworks, Stephanie Jones' company. Jennifer Abel, Wayfair Studios, Justin Baldoni's company, said, you know what, we don't want to work with Jonesworks anymore. We'll just work with Jennifer Abel. So Jennifer Abel went off on her own, and that's when Jonesworks looked into Jennifer Abel's phone, got these text messages that were not becoming, and got them to Blake Lively. That's pretty much it. Right now, they're arguing over this sort of mysterious subpoena, as we've covered in the last few episodes of the Rush Hour podcast. No one knows where the subpoena came from. No one's identified the subpoena and attached it to a court case. So they're kind of, I guess, arguing Justin Baldoni's side. If they can't get any information about this being an active subpoena, does it even count? Does any of this information even count? I'm only going to share with you pretty much like the introduction, because everything, I'll do the preliminary statement and all that jazz. But then when they get into the legal standards, I mean, that's kind of like not for me to discuss, right? You can go to, a law account for that. Jennifer Abel went rogue. And by the way, this is from Jennifer Abel's boss, who by all accounts, from a lot of different PR from a lot of different press that we've seen and in pieces on her, she's kind of like the devil wears Prada of the PR world. So people say. I've never met her. So this is her response and the vindictiveness towards Jennifer Abel, who would be, I guess, the Anne Hathaway, all right? So Jennifer Abel is the Anne Hathaway, and Stephanie Jones is the Meryl Streep. Do we have that right? Do we have a good reference? Okay. Jennifer Abel went rogue. She ruthlessly pursued her own career advancement by leading an aggressive smear campaign and pinning it on her employer, Jonesworks, while contemporaneously seeking to take down her employer by spearheading a Business Insider hit piece against the company and its CEO, Stephanie Jones, Meryl Streep. Stealing confidential documents, poaching clients, and seeking to ruin Jones's decades-built reputation, all before the dust had time to settle. Her duplicitous plan nearly succeeded until Jonesworks caught Abel red-handed, executing her treasonous plan by stealing confidential company files on her way out the door. Boy, there's some juiciness. Who uses thesaurus.com? Raise your hand. Jonesworks promptly terminated her for her theft, disloyalty, and replete contractual violations. Now, having been unmasked as the puppeteer behind the smear campaign and facing lawsuits that seek to hold her accountable for her own actions she had intentionally hid from Jonesworks and engaged in well outside the purview of her employment, Abel brazenly seeks indemnification from the employer she betrayed and sought to ruin. Abel's audacious ploy to evade responsibility fails as a matter of law for multiple reasons and should be rejected out of hand. Okay, it's a little too colorful for me. It's like, all right, you know what I mean? Go easy on the words, right? Not all of us are, okay. First, Abel entered into a valid and enforceable contract that mandated the application of New York law to her employment and all disputes relating to the performance of her duties to Jonesworks, a New York company. She cannot now renege on that agreement while retaining the benefits she reaped from it and seek indemnification under a California statute that is plainly inapplicable. Her California statutory indemnification claims should be dismissed. And by the way, Justin Baldoni's side basically said that Jonesworks really wasn't paying them any attention, wanted nothing to do with them, was completely hands-off. And the second they tried to pull away from her, she became a needy wench. Just a term No one used, but I just said that. So don't sue me. Maybe she's not a wench. Allegedly, she's a needy wench. Second, Abel cannot seek indemnification where she was acting in her own interests, which she actively hid from and were opposed to those of Jonesworks. Abel's pleadings make clear that was precisely what she was doing. Abel admits that starting weeks before she left Jonesworks, as early as July 29th, 2024, and continuing through and past August 9th, 2024, the exact time she was engaging in the conduct for which she now seeks indemnification. She was communicating with co-conspirator Melissa Nathan about their duplicitous scheme for Abel to leave Jonesworks. They already said duplicitous. You can't say duplicitous twice. All right, you take away the duplicitous dagger, as it were. Poaching its clients and profit at Jonesworks' expense. Defendant Jennifer Abel's answer to complaint, counterclaims, and jury trial demands. So either way, here they start sharing the receipts here. So let's get into it. From Melissa Nathan to Jennifer Abel. I know, and once you are gone, we will be on accounts together and make really good money and be happy. So I guess this is Jennifer Abel trying to poach Melissa Nathan. And then Melissa Nathan to Jennifer Abel said, let's just keep it steering that way. And you take this effing client and never talk to her again. I swear to God. So they hate Stephanie Jones. I think we can all relate to the idea that you hate your boss. You know what I mean? You always think you can do better than your boss. You're smarter. Just give me a chance. I'll go out there. And I guess the only illegal thing that I would say, at least like the obvious illegal thing, would be if if Jonesworks has clients, you can't steal their clients. But if they decide to end their contract with Jonesworks and then come with you, I think that's perfectly fine. And of course, in a case of public relations, you're only as good as it's such a, personal relationship where if Justin Baldoni gets weird vibes from Jonesworks, from Stephanie Jones, and says, I just want to work with Jennifer Abel. I mean, what's Stephanie Jones supposed to do? Hold him to a contract? Yeah, you could, but that's just bad. That's bad, quite literally bad PR. Like, these contracts are there to protect you, but if both parties don't want to be a part of it, well, you gotta part your ways at some point because people will talk. Abel admits that while employed at Jonesworks and during the period for which she seeks indemnification, she was boasting to Nathan about her overt hostility to Jonesworks. We are going to war, she said. I feel so alive. Ha 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 ha. And by the way, remember, whenever someone has somebody else's text messages, you'll see selective clips that always make the other person look bad, right? But this is what happens. I mean, everybody, we all shit talk our family, our employee. I read the comment section from you guys. You know what I mean? Imagine what's said behind closed doors. Dave, we think you're so great. Okay, that's all you need to say. Because I don't mind living in an echo chamber. I don't mind that. The internet's cruel enough. Give me an echo. Give me that echo. Abel admits that she intended to shake down Jonesworks on her way out. From Jennifer Abel to Melissa Nathan. By the way, I'm having my offboarding this morning with our chief of staff, a joke, because Steph won't face me. And you should see that list I made of things to bring up. Oh, fighting words. These be fighting words. So Stephanie Jones won't face Jennifer Abel. And apparently, and again, you guys might say, this is ridiculous. They were doing this on the company device. Yeah, well, now we know, right? Get a VPN. This would be a great VPN ad. Holding them hostage. It's wild. Abel admits that in parallel with the actions for which she now seeks indemnification, she and Nathan were encouraging Wayfair and Baldoni to breach their contract with Jonesworks so they could steal them as clients. Let's just keep it steering that way, and you take this effing client and never talk to her again, I swear to God. Exactly. And then Melissa said, and I'm just going to step out of line before I go to bed and tell you Jen is amazing. She's so, and this is from Melissa Nathan. She's so loyal. She loves you so much, and you have to go with her. And he was like, oh my God, of course, I'm going with her. Don't kill me. Okay, bye. So that was Melissa Nathan to Jennifer Abel. I'm assuming saying she was fluffing up Jennifer Abel to Baldoni. And then Abel says, ha ha ha, OMG, love you. Abel admits that throughout this period, she facilitated and regularly communicated with a Business Insider reporter, including through at least 4 phone calls, one more than 27 minutes long, and numerous text messages with the reporter, and text messages coordinating the reporter's outreach to others to actively undermine Jones' reputation in Jonesworks business through a hit piece about Jones and Jonesworks. Hey, sorry, Toots, that's First Amendment right. If they want to write a hit piece about you, that's fine. If you don't like it, fire your employee. They're allowed to write a hit piece. By the way, the Business Insider hit piece they were trying to write about us still hasn't come out. It's been over a month. My guess is they realized we have such a loyal fan base that we have such a duplicitous fan base that they realize, it's not worth coming after them. They are doing everything on the straight and narrow. That's my guess, but we'll have to see. I don't want to, knock on wood, I don't want to awaken the beast at Business Insider. Oh, the good lords of Business Insider, please do not harm them. They'll write a blog that nobody will read because it's behind a paywall and nobody cares. Okie dokie. From Melissa Nathan to Jennifer, these are fighting words. From Melissa Nathan to Jennifer Abel. Stephanie, are you aware there's a kill story dropping this week on you? And if you hadn't have blown us up, we would not have been in such a bad place. From Katie to Jennifer Abel, from Katie Warren. Story is up. Thanks again for your help. Abel admits that as she was working at Jonesworks, supposedly in the interest of its then client Baldoni, she was simultaneously trashing him behind his back and crediting the very rumors she was working to suppress. Defendant Jennifer Abel's answer to First Amendment complaint, third-party complaint against Jonesworks, and jury trial demand and third-party complaint. It's so cringy, says Jennifer Abel. His face... this is redacted to Jennifer Abel. Blake was probably grossed out too. From Jennifer Abel, and filed a cease and desist. Okay, I don't know when they say something's cringy. I don't know exactly what they're referring to. You know what I mean? Was he doing a TikTok dance like Clayton Echard? I don't know. But either way, you can't read into it if you don't know what was said before and what was said after, right? Jennifer says, I can't stand him. He's so pompous. A men's retreat during release. Is he crazy? And being off the grid for the summer because he's just so overworked. Like, calm down. You're not that important and nobody gives a shit how hard your life is. Yeah, that's really bitter from Jennifer Abel, And again, this is like confessional stuff no one was supposed to see. But still, it's like knowing what we know now about Justin Baldoni. Yeah, I mean, when you're a director of a project and also the producer and a star actor, you probably work 20-hour days for a year. You really do. It's insane what it takes to get a project made. So Jennifer Abel here, hopefully she's getting a little bit of humble pie that maybe she could be a little bit more humble pie, humility pie. She could be have a little bit more humility here. But again, it doesn't mean she did anything wrong. It just means, all right, we've all shit-talked that person we work for, and it doesn't look good. And she doesn't work for Baldoni, but, will he hire her again? I don't think so. From Jennifer Abel, he may fire us because even if we put together an amazing campaign, it's not going to change the fact that he's so unlikable and unrealistic as a leading man. There's no chemistry with him and Blake. You and I both know that. She will be resistant to promote this movie, and press will be reluctant to do anything with Justin without Blake being a part of it. So those are my thoughts. Now, if you've seen the movie, the chemistry between Blake and Baldoni is not the problem. Their chemistry is off the charts. That rooftop scene where he grabs her chair and pulls her close to him, I watched that and I verbally was like, oh, I was like, yo, there's great chemistry between them. So I don't know what the hell she's talking about here. Maybe, just maybe, she wasn't privy to the sort of Cold War-like standoff between them and thought they didn't vibe together, when in fact on camera, they melted the scene, right? They were great on camera. Abel also, and again, this isn't me bashing Jennifer Abel. I don't think any of these text messages really do anything for the case. I really don't. It's just an employee being caught talking trash. That's all it is. Caught on a hot mic. Abel also admits that during this time, Nathan was also not safe from Abel's trash talk, labeling her as expletive even as she worked with her to harm and steal from Jones and Jonesworks. Abel answers to Jones. From a redacted to Jennifer Abel, MN kind of talks out both sides of her mouth, that Melissa Nathan. From Jennifer Abel to redacted, you think, ? She's a piece of S. Wow. From Jennifer Abel, I honestly used to like her and now I see her for how she really is. Yikes. And Abel admits that when Jonesworks finally discovered her subterfuge, self-serving thievery, and duplicity, all right, cancel the word duplicity, and limited her access to its electronic systems, she boasted about evading the company's efforts to stop her theft. Abel answered to Jones. Yes, pretty much. From Jennifer Abel to Alicia Jessup. Yes, pretty much. I have my way around that shit because I have like hundreds of different emails for each domain that I own, so she can suck it. Whoops. Abel's, and again, I don't know what they're talking about here as far as like what illegal activities she's being accused of. Abel's claim that she is entitled to indemnification from the employer she was actively betraying is diabolically illogical, legally deficient, and must be dismissed. Third, Abel cannot plausibly plead that she was acting in the scope of her employment when she was actively refusing to follow Jonesworks' instructions and hiding her activity from the CEO. Indeed, Abel proudly pleads that she advised Wayfair to hire Nathan, knowing full well that Jones opposed his recommendation. Abel counterclaims that Abel objected to Jones inserting herself in the mix of working on behalf of Wayfair in early August of 2024, and that Wayfair instructed Jones to cease all activities on behalf of Wayfair and Baldoni. She even has the audacity to claim that she was working in the scope of her employment at Jonesworks in the same breath as attacking Jonesworks CEO, for refusing to be sidelined. But texts Abel admits to sending and receiving confirm that she and Nathan did sideline Jones and Joneswork, including when those two co-conspirators ironically commiserated about the misogynistic nature of their vile campaign against Jones and Lively, and unbelievably attempted to blame Lively for their ruthless campaign. So Melissa Nathan says this to Jennifer Abel: "It's actually sad because it just shows you have people really want to hate on women." And again, this was in the height of when people were kind of bashing Blake Lively. But again, it doesn't go into the reason why they were doing that, which is, of course, all of the receipts coming up that Blake, was kind of a pill, as it were. From Jennifer Abel: "I know it is sad, but then don't be a C word." She says, "Yikes." So she's, that's a good point. Yeah, it's sad that people are mean to Blake, but Blake, don't be a C word. Now, those are their terms, not me. See you next Tuesday. Not a explicit word you want to throw around lightly. Now, would that describe Blake Lively? That's up to you to describe. One might say she's a highly sensitive person, an HSP, but maybe you could also replicate that with this four-letter word, because not all highly sensitive people are see you next Tuesdays, but a see you next Tuesday might be a highly sensitive person. And by that I mean, it's like, all right, the thermostat's not set to the exact temperature you want. Get over it. Or, hey, you're staying at a hotel and you don't like that someone's, videotaping you from the lounge. Okay, whatever. So they describe Blake that way. Abel's assertion that Jonesworks, whom she is suing in related litigation in this court, must now fund her defense in litigation that seeks to call her to account for her misconduct is beyond the pale. Her indemnification claims fail as a matter of law and should be dismissed. All right, and then they go this whole indemnification. They're really writing some of these words. They're very duplicitous in the way they're describing everything. So then they get into the background. Jonesworks, a well-known New York-based public relations firm, maintains its principal place of business, and this is where they fluff themselves up. And again, I'm not going to get into all of the specifics here, but their claim is that Abel ran an unsanctioned shadow campaign to smear Lively and attack and steal from Jonesworks. I guess what's the evidence that they smeared Lively? That's really what it comes down to, right? Is there evidence that Lively was smeared versus just the public being the public, the internet doing internet things? Shortly after joining Jonesworks, Abel began working on the Baldoni and Wayfair accounts, for which Jonesworks entrusted Abel to be the point person. Third-party complaints in that paragraph 26-27. Although Abel was the person with day-to-day responsibility for these relationships, Jonesworks, primarily through Jones, supervised and directed her work until Abel went rogue. Now, Baldoni's side says Jonesworks wasn't even there. It had nothing to do with it. As the noise surrounding Baldoni's behavior increased, he turned to Abel. Abel, in turn, recommended that Wayfair retain Melissa Nathan to provide crisis PR services. Abel answers to Lively. Jonesworks, through Jones, expressly objected to the retention of Nathan and conveyed to Abel that she should not make that recommendation. But in defiance, Abel did so anyway, and Wayfair ultimately retained Nathan. All right, so, it goes back and forth. But I think we get the general gist of it all. These documents are available if anyone wants to find them on Reddit, Team Justin Baldoni, or It Ends With Lawsuits. I think they both have them. So you can get that actually right here. Jonesworks, the web archive of it all, which is on the Team Justin Baldoni subreddit. So again, you can go read through all of those, but just thought I would share that because, again, it's not exactly tons of new stuff. Like, these text messages have been floating around, but what we're seeing now is Stephanie Jones really chisel away at her argument against Jennifer Abel. I think nobody looks good here, but what do they say? Let those who don't talk trash about their boss be the one to throw the first stone. Is that the parable? Is that the metaphor? I think that's how it works. All right. Well, I'm sure we'll have more Baldoni news to get into as we continue to have the back and forth pretrial motions. Judge soon will, say who gets dismissed and who doesn't. And I think later this week we'll hear back finally from Baldoni, although they did write a letter to the judge saying they don't plan to amend their complaint. So we might not hear back from him until the judge rules on this. There are your updates. All right, coming up next this afternoon, I'll be discussing more of the world news on the Rush Hour podcast because God knows there's a lot of it. If you need a place to chat, we have Dave Neal's Community on Facebook. If you search Dave Neal's Community, you'll find our free Facebook community. We also are live right now behind the scenes, on Patreon, patreon.com/Dave Neal. You can join us there. And I'll also be starting to promote some stand-up comedy shows I'll have across the country very soon. So stay tuned for that. You can join me and follow me on my Instagram, dneals, DNEALZ, or the podcast Instagram, Rush Hour with Dave Neal, or on TikTok at DNeals. Did we get all of that? We still don't have as many followers as our fake TikTok account. They are still beating us, but we are making a comeback. We've hired an amazing social media person, and we are making a comeback. So thank you for all of those that have followed us over there and continue to tag me in different stories. It really helps us figure out what's worth talking about. Appreciate you guys. All right, coming up next, the Rush Hour. We'll see you then. I'm Dave.